As always, call someone, text someone, even take a message and put it around a pigeon and tell someone that you appreciate them. Welcome to the M15. My name is Dr. Ivory L. Taylor, and as always, I appreciate you. Share this with someone. I want to talk about today something that I want to say it's a norm, but for this time of year, we find more suicides. We find more loneliness, and we find more people who are depressed going to this last quarter of the last month of the last end of the year for some reason. Even with seniors, and talking to them, you will find people say, if I just can hold on through the year. We find some people who are depressed because their loved ones has gone on or their loved ones is no longer with them. And sometimes instead of looking at the positive side of life, they end themselves looking at the negative part of life. It's just something about that December, January, or that last quarter of the year going from October to December 31st. We find a lot of people are depressed. Sometimes people think that they have to buy material things in order to bring people toward them. Or they feel that they're lonely because of something they did and not something someone else did. So this time of year is very difficult. What I want, what I want to do is ask the question as well as make a comment on it. And usually when I lecture, I ask this question: is that don't care who you are, whether you're wealthy, and this is bad English, are you unwealthy? In other words, you may not have the funds that you want to have. Whether you're tall or short, big, little, beautiful or unbeautiful, or whatever you may say. This question always come up. Who am I? And this is very important. And I believe that according to statistics and research, I found it that many people ask that question, who am I? Why do I exist? In other words, where do I come from? Why am I here? When my journey is over, what there's an end, or either why these things are happening to me, or how did I get myself in this predicament? These are common questions that are asked in our lives as we go through. I remember when I was in school and I took a science class, and they told us that we are here on Earth because of the Bang theory. It's where two rocks, satellites, or a planet that came together and they burst, and from that burst became Earth, and that became me. Well, I bought into that because I wanted to pass that class. Also, I remember taking a class in science where we talk about reproduction. And they told us that in evolution that I'm here, or I came here, and where I come from, I came from monkeys or apes, and that's how life got started. And through time, my life, I was down on all fours, and I began to walk upright, and then went on and went on and went on, and now I'm who I am now. And that was evolution. I came from the ape. And they still trying to figure out where that ape come from. Did the ape come from the Bang Theory when the burst life came? Or there? And I bought into that because I need to pass that class. But also I took some religious studies as well. And they told me that I'm here because of a creation. There's a God said, let there be. And there became man, there became, the elements of life and animals and all that. And he went inside man rib and there became woman. So here's three things here in life. For me to try to figure out who I am, what I am, and where I come from. One person said I came from the Bang Theory. And this is taught in our universities of life. Another person says I came from evolution. There came a little creature. From that creature became the animals, the monkey, and went on and on and on and on. And now I am here who I am today. Then we have in the theological seminaries, we're taught that we came from God. He said, let there be man, and he blew, and man became in existence. So three things that I must choose from. There may be some others out there to identify who am I and where did I come from. And many people wrestle with this. Many times our answer would come from what environment that I live in. If I'm in a heavy science environment, then maybe I came from the Bang Theory. If I am in a way at the right wing out there, I came from the historic animals. If I'm in a theological environment, then I came from the creation of God. But the question still remains though. Who am I and where did I come from? Don't care how wealthy you are, this is a question that's asked of you, or you ask. Sometimes we wrestle with that because what happens is sometimes we allow other people to identify who we are. And sometimes we let other people tell us who we are. And if we're not careful, society will tell us who we are, where we come from, and where we're going, as though they've been there before us. They would tell us that we're nobody. And then now we got to find out what does the meaning of nobody. Then they would tell us that if we're not wealthy, as how they define wealth, then we are nobody. And all of this leads toward depression, leads toward worries. Because where this person has $10 and they're happy, they live in a one-bedroom apartment and they are happy. But over here, this person lives in a $20,000 mansion and have a lot of money, and they tell this person that they are no one and they must measure up to this. And this person began to wonder, well, who am I? Why am I who I am? And this goes on. But one of the writers of the Bible, as we know it, as well as history, was one of the one writer said he was the smartest man of his time at that time, and it was King Solomon, the son of King David. And Solomon says in one of his books, I think it's a Proverbs book, he said, it's all vanity. There's a time for all things. There's a time to live. There's a time to die. Time to plant. Time to pluck up. There's a time for rain, a time for sunshine. Time for sadness, a time for smile. There's a time for all things, and you end up coming back where you began. If you're not careful, move you to question your existence in life. it will move you to really question, why am I here? Who am I? Where did I come from? What is my existence in life? I never forget when I was a college professor and the question came up, what is my purpose? If you're not careful, someone will tell you your purpose. And again, if you're not careful, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you're going or have an idea, another person will come along and make you feel vulnerable, and they take advantage of your ideas. I've seen it happen across curriculum. I've seen it across the land, where people would take advantage of other people, and they believe that they need to do that. So if you have a friend who's going through these ideas, or have these questions, or have this, they want to get on a voyage to find truth, have a talk with them. Or let them vent to you. Because if you're not careful, some of them feel that suicide is the way out. They feel that if life has no purpose, then why live? If they cannot find where they fit, then they want to give up. And it's always this time of season. Sometimes people will buy their way out, trying to find that fit. Sometimes people will eat their way out, trying to find their fit. And sometimes people just don't care. And then they go through life. And at the end of their life, that question comes up: did I achieve the things that I should have achieved? Achieve the things that was in front of me? Where am I? I was watching a documentary, about nomads. How they just travel from place to place. And it caught my attention because they just travel, and they get these Campbells and pack it up, and they just go. The earth is their home, and they just travel. I remember when I was in Europe, I had a chance to sit down with some Egyptians, and they was like nomads. They go from place to place with the different caravans, and I had an interest in that because I wanted to know. And they just feel that earth is their home, and they don't want to be shut in or shut out. They want the freedom to just move. Just move. And also, this weekend I was just watching a lot of television, and I'm not a big. I watch certain things that I have an interest. I have an interest in humanity. I think that when it comes to people are important, and also I believe that lives are important, because one error or one mistake can really interrupt life. One bad decision. Not saying that you can't get it right, because we all make mistakes. Sometimes we all drop the ball. Yes, we all do. We all do some stupid stuff. And sometimes people feel that they don't do anything wrong. I kid you not. They out there, they do nothing wrong. And when you call them on it, they will deny it. But they was talking about the top 20 worst cities in America. The top 20 worst cities in America, there was poverty. But I noticed that the cities that they claim as the worst cities, and I began to look at the different things that they show. And keep in mind, this is television, so television, you can cut, paste, and make things be what you want to be. But I noticed that the people that they show was people of color. I noticed that. Also, I noticed that these neighborhoods, they had regular homes or homes that can be improved. It was just down paper everywhere. But they all had good cars, though. I noticed that. They had fine cars. I mean, they had cars. I mean, it wasn't no tore up cars. They had, they had cars. And when I saw the buildings that was dilapidated or buildings that was torn up, I said, here's an opportunity for a carpenter to come in and redo some of those buildings. But many of the curriculum across the country, I noticed they have taken vocational out of these schools. So I said, man, what an opportunity for a person to come in and rebuild these buildings. Or opportunity to come in and do some painting or do some craftsmanship. So I guess the thing that I'm trying to move is that when I feel I have no purpose, or when I feel that life is at an end, it moves me to giving up. Because these was healthy people they showed on the camera. It wasn't like they was humped over or starving. So how we define poorness or how we define wealth, we need to be very careful with that. I want to go a couple things with you, and then we're gonna leave you a question. One of the books that I wrote that because I had this concern about people or humanity or workforce development. I believe that when people know who they are or have an idea who they are, they're able to set some purpose in their life and move toward it. Because we all gonna die. I believe that. I mean, people was dying before I was born, and people have died since I've been born, and I'm gonna assume that after I die, I'm gonna come to an end. Someone's gonna die. But the issue that I really want to push is, can we fulfill our destiny in life before we depart? So don't take your life. Find out your purpose, or find out why you exist. You may not know where you come from. And you can buy into it, or you can say, I don't know where I come from. I don't know that I came from the Bang Theory, or I came from evolution, or I came from creation. And there may be some other out there. But you do have an idea, or you should have an idea, or you can create an idea where you're going and what existence that it should look like where you're going, and who's going to define certain definitions in your life. Are you going to let society say you're poor? And you say, well, now I'm poor. Or society say you're wealth? Now I'm wealth. Or society say you're whole? Now I'm whole. Or you're going to get some of those definitions and say, hey, I'm going to decide what's happiness is to me. Now, sure, I'm going to have the golden rule. I'm not going to mistreat anyone. I'm not going to walk over anyone, but I am going to make a decision for who I am, where I am, and where I want to go in life. But one of the things that I found out that there are 8 types of people. One, there are people who react. They're not very good planners now, but they will react to things when they happen. If you ask them to sit down and plan something, it's not going to work. There's no vision out there. There's no tomorrow. When something drastic happens, they can react to it. Like, for example, they can know that little Jimbo is not doing well in school. But when Jimbo flunk or have to repeat a grade, now they're going to react. You have some people in life who, what we call, they're tribal. In other words, if you're not a part of their posse, a part of their church, a part of their faith, or a part of their little gang, you don't count. You don't exist. Very tribal. And some people start fights in life, said that's my cousin, or that's my brother, and we going down together. It's not about whether the cousin or brother is right and what they did or wrong in what they did. It's just a mere fact that we are part of the same tribe. And guess what? We're going to go down that way. This is my family member. We're going to go down that way. They don't care. They don't care. And they are that way. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about whether that person did this or did that. The mere fact that we're the same blood, we're the same little tribe, or we're the same little neighborhood, we're going to glue that way. Next person is a person on egotistic. Egotism. This person, they just have ego. Everything must be centered on them. They are never wrong. They always right. And even if you call them out and being wrong, they will justify that and saying that everything they do, it must be on them. In other words, the camera got to always spotlight them. And they feed off of that, and they get to the place where they need that. If things don't go their way, they're not going to play ball. If things don't go their way, they're not going to participate. It has to be centered on them to go forward. Even in their families, it got to be centered around them. And that moves to people who are absolute. They just absolute. They're always right. They're a dictator. I want it this way and no other way. It's not about working together. No. I want it this color, this trim, this look, this idea. If you that way, then you're an outsider. They are absolute. They have no room for error. As we would say, there is no gray area. They are absolute. They do no sin in life. Everything they do is that way. And you find those people out there. To me, it's very scary. Because if you go against them, they feel that you should not live, you should not be tolerated. That is it. Those people are out there. And you got another type of person who's materialistic. Everything's about having the finest. And I still ask this question here. Like on my shirt, I got the little horse. To me, put my name there. But we will have clothes that must be in style, and we will give up other clothes in order to have those clothes. We have to drive a certain car, live in a certain neighborhood, and we can be the place where we don't have the money, but we will go in debt in order to have a brand name pocketbook, a brand name shirt, a brand name suit, a pair of shoes, or whatever it may be. I must live in this neighborhood, so I will go in debt and barely make it to live in this home because of status. Materialistic. It's all about, I can have 25 pair of shoes, and I may not only wear but one, but in conversation, I will brag and say, I got this shoe, this shoe, this shoe, this shoe, this shoe, because of status. Materialistic. I would take the kids' college fund to buy something in order to fit in. Materialistic. And sometimes you'll find people will steal in order to have something to fit. It's not about spirituality, ethics, or value. It's about, I must have this tangible something in order to fit. Then we have some people, what we call, they go beyond what we call a spirituality. And they are non-tangible. And they need this in life. They believe in a supernatural something. And if you don't fit what they believe in, then they X you out. I remember I was talking to a young lady, and she told me that if I didn't give the church 10% of my earning, she couldn't deal with me. She couldn't talk to me. And I said, seriously? She said, because she's wasting her time because I don't fit social values. Because she believed that I must give the church 10% of my earnings as well as my time. And I said, I don't believe that. I said, I believe that the New Testament where it says that I must give as I'm willing and able to give, so forth. And she said, no. And you find some people who, if you don't pray the way they say pray, you out. If you don't do certain things the way they say. I remember when I was in Europe, we got ready to eat, and they said their grace before we ate, but also they said their grace after we finished eating. And I was shocked because where I come from, we say that grace before we ate. You have to get through eating, you just get up. But there's some social beliefs or social values out there that if you don't fit, then you will exit. And some people are really caught up into that. Like some people believe you only have one wife. But there are some people, their belief system is believe you have as many wives as you're able to have. If you live here in America, do me a favor, exit America and go to some foreign countries. So we have some people out there who really, in that social realm, they have some real strong belief systems. And a lot of them really don't know where it comes from. They just believe it because Big Mama said it or Uncle said it or whatever, and they came along and said, hey, I believe this. I believe this. Like some people don't believe that women should wear pants. And then if you don't wear them, they put you down. Because that social belief system, they're out there. They believe that. I think one person told me, if a black cat crosses in front of you, a ladder, or something like that. But they're out there. Then we have the people, what we call, it's where they're very sequential. I'm more that way. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you take me out of them steps now, I got some problems. And most of the time I ask people, tell me what you want out of me. Then that way there's no misunderstanding. Then I know whether I can do it or I can't do it. I have habits. I come home, I have a certain place I put my wallet, a certain place I put my keys or change. Now, if you took that and you moved that, I took that out of place, I got some problems. I often tell my wife, don't move my stuff, because that means that I have to start looking. I'm very, I have those habits. I know where I put my shoes. I come in, dust my shoes off, and I put them here. Now, you want me to replace my shoes? Tell me, say, Ivory, put your shoes over here. And guess what? I will put my shoes over there. Like dirty clothes, I put them here. I'm very sequential. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have those habits. Maybe that's why I was able to do well in the military, because the military is very 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had a saying called count the cadence, skip the cadence, count cadence 1. In other words, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to skip something, you have to come back and tweak it or whatever it may be. But we got people who are that way, even solving problems. I was pretty good in that because I'm very sequential. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like reading a ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just who I am. Numbers. I have no problem with numbers because they don't change. I never forget, I was building our home, and the guy was putting the refrigerators and stuff like that, and he said a ruler never lie, because the numbers are always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't lie. Inch or a quarter inch or a half an inch or a 3/4 inch. These things have been from the beginning. They don't lie. The red light means stop. Green light means go. Yellow light means caution. Now some people just say you go as you please, but people who have this cardinal thinking, they understand laws. I was watching something the other day, and this policeman asked this guy to show his ID, and the guy said, "Why? For what? I haven't did anything." And the police said, "No, show me." And they had a huge argument. Now me, to keep from fussing and fighting, I'll show you my ID. But this is my ID, and move on. Because to me, I'm going to waste my time going back and forth with you arguing about this and that, because on the end, you're going to call your buddies, and they're going to call that buddy, and they're going to call that buddy. Now we're in a fight. Now we fussing and fighting, and at the end, I'm in I'll show you my ID anyway. So how I am, to show the ID and move on. Now, if I want to come back and rebel, let's rebel after that. But I'm not saying one right and one wrong. It's just that's the type of person I am. I'm one of those type of people. But the other person, we bring it to the end, is a experimental person. It's where they say, let me find out for myself. You try to tell them the stove is hot. No, I want to find out for myself. You tell them that if they don't put a dime or a nickel or a dime beside, they won't have any fun in their life. They said, no, I want to find out for myself. And that type of person is out there. So let's be very careful when we move forward and trying to find and identify who we are, where we come from, and where we're going. And when we ask that grand old question, why am I here? What is my existence in life? Take a little time and talk to yourself. That will help you in this last quarter of the year moving toward depression. It'll help you with worrying. Because once you move toward depression, it's hard to come back out. And then you think that in order to exit that is the taking of your life. Life has a value. Don't take your life. Hope you have a very good holiday. Hope you guys share love and give love and have some good dialogues and all those things in life until we meet again. But always remember, you didn't get where you are by yourself. So reach out to someone and tell them thank you that you guys can go forth. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Deidre Malone, the host of Dialogue with Deidre. You can find us on the M1 TV network on YouTube. Subscribe and follow us. You can also find us on Facebook at M1 TV Network, Twitter, M1 TV Network 2, and Instagram, M1 TV Network 2. Please follow us so you can keep up to date with what's going on the M1 TV network with Dialogue with Deidre and Black Thought.